Hello everyone, I am a little bit stressed today since I just spent $70 for videos for my second channel. We're doing a video where we eat everything at a Mexican restaurant, which was my idea, so I shouldn't really complain about spending money. And we're also doing some baking and cooking videos. My goon and I are making a casserole and some dessert dips tonight, which is quite lovely, but also quite expensive. I don't understand how the receipt for our meal was $50. Also, the thing I use to clip on a table and clip on my phone to hold it up has broken, so I have multiple things stacked right now. I do own a tripod, but that is for a camera, not for a phone. I do own a camera, but I discovered my phone is better quality, and I have an iPhone 5. So maybe sell the camera on Facebook Marketplace or something. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Anyway, let's get into some urban legends now, shall we? That's what you're here for, not here to hear me complain about my life. Go to my other channel for that. Anyway. Carmen Winstead started high school as a normal 17-year-old outcast. Her father lost his job, so her family had to move to Indiana for his employment. This made it difficult for Carmen because she had to leave the friends she already had made and make new ones. It was quite difficult for her to do this. When it was finally time for Carmen to go to a new school, the first 2 semesters of the year were difficult until she started talking to a group of 5 girls. They seemed pretty nice until Carmen found out these girls were just talking about her behind her back and spreading bad rumors about her. One rumor was that Carmen was messing with Harvey, the school janitor. Another was that she would wipe her snot on people when they weren't looking. When Carmen discovered who had up these terrible lies about her, she gathered the courage to confront them. This only made the bullying situation worse. These girls started calling her abusive names, vandalizing her locker and personal belongings, calling her out in the hallway in front of everyone, telling many different boys that she had a terrible obsession with them, and more. She ignored everything and went on with her life. The same things continued every day, nothing new. This continued until one of the girls put dog poop in one of her coat pockets. Carmen was so tired of being bullied at this point, she decided to stay after school to tell the teachers about what had recently happened. Later that day, one of Carmen's teachers announced that there would be a fire drill after lunch. All the students gathered outside waiting for the teacher to finish the lecture. The 5 girls happened to see Carmen standing by the sewer opening. They thought it would be fun to push her down to embarrass her in front of the whole school. The 5 girls began to crowd around Carmen, getting in her face and pushing her back closer to the sewer. When she was finally at the edge, she fell down and hit the bottom. When the teachers called Carmen's names, one of the girls shouted, "She's in the sewer," laughing as if it were a joke. The teachers went down to look into the sewer and saw Carmen there, not moving at all, her head twisted all the way around. Then the school called the police. When the police arrived, they went into the sewer to analyze that Carmen had scratched her face when she was hit on the way down. She also had a broken neck. Carmen's parents, Marco and Kimberly, then discovered what had happened to her. They immediately rushed to the horrific scene, only to find their beloved daughter being lifted from the drain and taken to a morgue, the skin on her face completely ripped off, and her head hanging loosely from the rest of her body, her clothes covered in muck from the sewer. Her parents were shocked and sickened by the sight of their child like this and demanded to know how it happened. All the students had to stay for questioning afterwards. The 5 girls denied the truth and told the police that Carmen had fallen on her own. The incident was soon declared an accident and the case was closed. Months later, all the students who attended the same school as Carmen started receiving strange messages on their MySpace pages from an unknown person who claimed that Carmen's passing was not an accident and that someone had pushed her. Whoever was responsible would give their names to the police. Otherwise, dire consequences await. When the 5 girls didn't admit to what they had done in time, one by one they were all found in the sewer in the same fate as Carmen. Anyone who did not care to believe her story met the same terrible fate as Carmen and the other 5 girls. Women were told not to shop in the mall in Tacoma because men rob a woman there by hiding under their cars. One woman returned to her car carrying everything she had bought during her shopping trip. And as she stood trying to open her car door, a guy hiding under her car sliced her ankle with a razor. He stole her purse and recently bought items driving away in her car. It was said it was becoming popular for teenage punks and gangsters to target young women hiding under their cars in the parking lot and slice their ankles before they got in the driver's seat. Then when they reached for their ankles in response to the pain, they sliced their arms. They would take the woman's life, take advantage of her, or steal her car. The victim was always a woman and the attacker a man. The usual motive for the attack is robbery, but some stories reveal gang initiation or taking advantage of the woman. In the cases, the victim is dragged under the car and the crime is committed there. If the attack is part of an initiation, the instinctive force of the victim to grab her injured ankle allows the future gang member to cut off one of her fingers as necessary evidence. Despite the many places this legend has been, no verifiable cases of this nature have been reported. It's not that surprising either. Most cars sit low to the ground, making hiding under them difficult. But they still have enough freedom of movement to cut the driver's ankle and get out from under the vehicle to complete the robbery before the victim calls for help. Also, if an attacker is looking for a place to hide, why not crouch behind or maybe inside the car? There have been robberies, attacks, and kidnappings in mall parking lots, but until November 2008, no attackers were hiding under the victim's vehicle. Though one case in Salt Lake City, a man did do this and took advantage of a woman. Folklorist Jan Bravan traces the origin of this legend sometime in the 1950s at the Northland Mall in Detroit. I mean, if this were to happen anywhere, I think it would be in Detroit, honestly. In several incidents since then, various cities have experienced the slasher scare, where these attackers are said to hide under women's cars. Police stations in several locations tried to stop the spread of the rumors with varying success. In 1991, when the story was rapidly spreading in Chicago, police there set up a hotline to give those concerned about what they had heard a place to call and get the facts. More than 400 calls were registered to this number in the first 4 days. Dear Abby is a newspaper advice column where readers could write and receive advice. It wouldn't be a proper scare if Dear Abby wasn't involved in some way. She was in 1991. A reader sent in, "I am 16 and I am terrified to go to the mall." At our local shopping mall, crimes have been going on that are never reported in the newspaper because there are so many of them. A friend of mine had been shopping and was just about to get in her car when a man who had been hiding under her car grabbed her ankles. Another man working in cahoots with the man under the car was hiding behind another car nearby, and he jumped out and grabbed my friend's purse, and the two of them got away and were never caught. The security guards never seem to be around when you need them. Please warn people, Abby. Abby responded, "Since the crime rate at the mall appears to be more than their security can handle, it might be better to consider shopping someplace that is better policed. If that's not possible, do not go to the mall unless you are accompanied by at least one friend, and do not enter the parking structure unless it is daylight or well lighted, or you are carrying a flashlight powerful enough to illuminate the underside and interior of your car from a distance and large enough to be used as a weapon if you have to." Your letter is thought-provoking. Readers, before going into your cars, look under them, around them, and behind you. Explanations are often offered as to why the police or mall security aren't doing more to put a stop to the attacks, or why they aren't being covered by major news outlets. In the letter to Dear Abby, the lack of reporting is due to the fact that there are too many of these cases to be newsworthy. Many things never make it to the papers. Police and newspapers allegedly keep attacks under wraps to protect small business. It's not enough that we have the police and press in our league with big business to cover up crime. When women are targeted in this way, what seems to have started as a cautionary tale about women being attacked has increasingly become a tale of ruthless gang initiation in recent years. As inner-city gang activity features heavily on the evening news, the story changes to reflect the growing focus of our fears. In earlier versions, what a woman could be forced to give up, her assets or virtue, was her attacker's motivation. In its more recent form, it is violence for the sake of violence. This was shared around the internet in the 90s. I am passing this along because I know of an incident similar to this. My girlfriend was getting some gas when she attempted to return to her car. The gas station attendant started yelling at her and telling her she didn't pay yet. When she went back to argue about already having paid, the attendant told her she just wanted her to get back in because he saw someone crawl in the back seat of her car and that he already had called the police, so it's worth taking to heart. This is a true story. It has been a ritual of gang members to take one body part from a woman as an initiation into gangs. The rule is that it has to be a well-lit area and at a gas station, so be careful. I don't know how factual that is. They tend to lay under the car and slash woman's ankles when she goes to get into her car, causing her to fall. Then they cut off a body part and roll and run. They are known to hide behind the gas pumps too, so be careful. It might sound bizarre and gross, but the bigger the body part, the higher the initiation they receive. This was communicated by a person who works in law enforcement in the South. She has investigated and been called to a number of these scenes. She also confirmed the following statement as true and not as an internet hoax. Please pass these on to as many people as you know, mothers, sisters, grandparents, daughters, nieces, and friends. It seems the world has become a crazy place to live in, but let's be careful out there and make stuff like this known so we are better protected. The reason for this legend can be attributed to the feeling of vulnerability to attack, especially in public spaces at night. While we think of malls as well-lit, warm, welcoming, busy, and safe places, their parking lots are seen as not being as safe. They have to leave the safety of the mall and go there alone. Darkness would cause anxiety, even if there were no crime in the world. On a basic level, this legend evokes half-forgotten memories of childhood fears, especially monsters under beds grabbing ankles. The Answer Man is an urban legend game most commonly played in Japan. They say that the game can summon an evil spirit that will answer any question asked to it. The Answer Man is an urban legend that has been circulating among Japanese children for more than 20 years. It is sometimes called the Phantom of the Answer or Answer Ghost. You apparently need 10 people and 10 mobile phones to play the game, but I have seen people attempt to do it with 3. Not that it is successful. I do not even have a group of 2 friends to play this game with. Gather 10 people in a circle. Everyone should have the number of the person on their left in their phone. On the count of 3, each person presses the call button to call the person on their left. Everyone puts the phone to their ear and listens. Since everyone is calling everyone else at the same time, all the phones should be busy. No one should get an answer. But what happens is that one person notices that his call is mysteriously answered, and he hears a voice at the end of the line. That's the Answer Man. When you are on the phone with the Answer Man, you can ask him anything, and he will answer all your questions. But after he gives you an answer, he has a question for you. It is said that if you answer his question incorrectly or cannot answer it, a hand will come out of the phone and tear off a piece of your body. According to legend, the Answer Man is the spirit of a severely deformed child. When he was born, he had no arms, legs, or body. He was just a head. Since he passed, his ghost has been trying to become a perfect human by collecting the body parts of others. If I could have the answer to any question, I honestly have no idea what I would ask. What about you? I'm genuinely curious.
The answer man likes 10 people, and we're just 2 people. Now the rules are, if you talk to the answer man, you have to answer any question that he asks you truthfully. You can't hang up on him. You can't say no to answering a question. And if you want to leave, you have to say, hey, I want to go now. And he's going to try and keep you on the phone, but you have to keep saying, I want to go. And then finally he'll be like, and you'll hang up.
Okay, how many questions does he tend to ask, or is this just as many as he wants?
As many as you want. So he'll ask you a question, and then you can ask him a question, and it goes back and forth until you're done. And then you're just like, hey, I want to go now. So some people ask creepy questions, like when they're gonna die, or like just things about the world. And it says, don't ask a question that you don't want an answer for. Anyway, we're gonna call each other at the same time, so we have to count down from 3. And if we both get a busy tone, that means the game's over, it didn't work. If one of our calls starts going through, that means the answer man might pick up.
3, 2, 1, go.
Your call is forwarded to a voicemail service that has not been initiated.
Game's over.
This next one is called the answer man. Basically how this works is you sit in a circle with your friends and you call the person to the left. And we all have to hit send at the same exact time. Now you would think it would all just be busy signals, right? Yeah. Well, supposedly one of us is going to get an answer from the answer man.
Who's the answer man? That's what we're finding out.
Okay, so I'm Drew, you're Garrett, you're me.
I do not have Garrett's number saved.
1,
2, 3.
Your call has been forwarded to
I'm getting something.
messaging system.
I'm getting something. Oh, we're just gonna talk. I think Garrett and I are just talking, or no?
This is scary.
Wait, you're getting him...
Got a voicemail?
Yeah. Wait, I don't think you're calling Garrett because he's not getting a phone call.
Your
No,
call
that's-
has been forwarded.
Who'd you call?
Garrett.
I don't think you
Are you
did.
sure?
That's not my number at all. Who did you call?
I don't know.
My number looks nothing like that.
Oh, Trish.